New year, new Screencastify, and I'm coming to you today from Atlanta, Georgia. Today, we're going to learn how to create, edit, and share videos, turn the videos into quizzes. We're also going to talk about how to empower students to create their own videos, and I'm going to give you some tips on how you can use Screencastify to increase student engagement and home to school connections. So why use Screencastify? Why is Screencastify my favorite platform to use for anything recording and editing? You can record, edit, and share videos with ease. It is the easiest way to do all of that. If I record a video on my phone or with another platform, I still use Screencastify's editor to edit it because it is that great. You can also engage students with interactive video lessons and quizzes. You can save time on creating assignments and differentiated content. Let's talk about screencasting first. Screencasting is recording yourself on the screen or recording your tab or a presentation or any of that stuff. All of that is considered screencasting. To record video with Screencastify, it is super easy. All you need to do is open the Screencastify extension at the top of your browser. It's the little pink arrow with the video camera in it. From there, you have three choices of how you can record with Screencastify. The first choice is this tab. That means that Screencastify will record the current tab you're on. If you open a new tab, it won't record the new tab. It'll stay with the original tab. You're only going to use one tab, that's great. But if you're going to use something where you open another tab, like you click on a link and it takes you to another tab, that's not the one to use. You would want to use full screen for that. And full screen is going to record your entire screen. But don't worry, we have an amazing cropping tool in our editor that will cut out all the things we don't want. And then your third option is webcam only. And that would just be your webcam showing your face and nothing else. You can tell your sound is working by seeing the little green bar jiggling. And you can tell your webcam is working if you see your beautiful face in box or circle. If you click on show more options, that will give you options to change the amount of time for the countdown and whether or not you want to show the drawing tools. We have some wonderful drawing tools that you can use while you're recording, including a pen with several colors, emojis, and cursors with different magical features like spotlight and confetti and fireworks. When you're ready to record, all you have to do is click the big blue record button and it'll record however you set it up. When you're ready to stop, you click the red stop button on the toolbar. If you need to pause and regroup, you can always pause your video and then start recording again. Sometimes we have to do that. But when you're ready to stop, you just stop it and it will open up and it'll save it to your My Videos landing page. So let's talk about what to do after you record your video and you're ready to edit and share it. When you're in the Screencastify extension, to get to the videos that you've recorded, you can get there two ways. You can click the My Videos button on the right-hand side of the extension, or you can click the hamburger on the left-hand side of the extension and click My Videos. This will take you to your videos landing page with all the videos you've recorded. So let's find a video that we can edit so I can show you the editing features. Once your video loads in the landing page, to get to the editor, you will click on the blue scissors that say edit video. And this will take your video into our editor and open it up for us to use all of our wonderful editing tools. This is what our editor looks like. You will see your videos, like the spot your video is in, on the top of the toolbar. Then you have your toolbar. Then you have your, I always call it just the video toolbar on the bottom. One of the cool things you can do, depending on how you want to edit, is you can zoom out or in on the video. If you zoom in, you kind of stretch it out more so you can get more precise editing skills when you cut or zoom or crop or any of that stuff. So if you are trying to get very precise with taking out like dead sound or the ums or the breaths you take before you start talking, stretch it out a little bit and you can get very accurate with your cutting skills. So I always stretch mine out to about here. In order to edit your video, it has to be highlighted yellow. So to do that, you just click on the front of it and the outline of the video is yellow. That means it is active for editing. So now that our video is active for editing, let's talk about the editing tools we have. I'm going to skip cut for a second because I always tell people to start with crop because our crop feature only crops segments of each video. So if you go through and cut first and you have like 10 segments, you'll have to go in and crop all 10 segments. So I always crop first so that it crops the entire video and then I don't have to do it again. So let's crop this video. Crop is an orange box and you just do what you do with the crop tool. You stretch it out to where you want your crop to be. and you cut out everything else. And when you're satisfied with the area on your screen, you click done. And it's cropped the entire video just like that for you. So let's go back now to our cutting tool, the scissors. You can cut the beginning of the video, you can cut in the middle of the video, you can cut anywhere you want. So I know that when I record a video, I have a bad habit of before I start talking, always taking this giant breath. So I always like to cut the first 1 or 2 seconds out of the beginning of my video. So to do that, I just played my video. I know I want to stop right here. I'm going to click cut. And I want to delete the part of the video that has the dead noise in it or that deep breath that I take. In order to delete that part of the video, click on the segment and highlight it yellow, and then click the trash can or delete on your keyboard. And it will delete that part of the video. If you happen to mess up and delete the entire video, not a problem. Go up to the top and click undo. You can undo several moves at a time. So if you mess up, you need to go back like 3 or 4 steps. We got you. The undo tool is great. I use it all the time. So if I wanted to cut my video into chunks, say I'm differentiating for my students with having them complete parts of a video depending on what group they're in, and I might want to cut it right here for group 1, cut it like right here for group 2, I can just cut like that and it'll split the video for me. I don't have to delete anything. I can just cut right in the middle of it and turn it into segments of a video instead of having one long video. Our next feature that I want to show you is our zoom tool. Our zoom tool is green. And what you do is you highlight the area on your screen that you want to zoom into. So I'm just going to highlight this part right here and click done. And then when I play it, it's going to zoom in and then zoom back out. Assign this lesson to a unit in my course if I have my units already done. So now that I've shown you how to zoom in and out, you can adjust the zoom length by clicking on the green bar and dragging it in or out depending on what you're trying to do. So if I want to make it shorter, I'll drag it in. If I want to lengthen the zoom time, I'll drag it out. Depending on what you're doing in the video, you might need to make it shorter or longer. The next tool is our blur tool. I use this a lot when I was in the classroom and I did flipped learning. If I had like a whiteboard tool on the screen and I had the answer on the tool already, I wanted to hide the answer until I was ready to reveal it. So I would use the blur feature for that. I also used it if I had confidential student information in a presentation that I needed to hide. Great for that as well. So the blur tool is purple. We have a toggle bar that you can change the intensity of the blur from low to high where you can't see anything. So if I wanted to blur out this part of my screen, I could do that, and you can't see any of it behind the box now. So now
my lesson is going to be on trench warfare.
And you can't see anything behind the box. It's totally blurred out. Same thing if you need to adjust your blur. You can drag it in to make it shorter or out to make it longer. Now it's time for my favorite tool, the text features. Our text features are pretty robust. We have different text styles. So you can bold, italicize, or underline. You can also change the alignment of your text in the text box. We have 5 different fonts that you can choose from. You can change the font size of your text. And then my favorite features, you can change not only the color of your text, but the background of your text box and the outline of your text box. So let's change some colors here, get it to look really colorful and pretty. And I'm going to write, I might use this to tell my students at the end of a lesson to go to Google Classroom and do their assignment in there. I'm going to make it bigger because it's a little small right now. I can move it around on the screen wherever I want it. So maybe I want it at the top to draw their attention to it. When I'm done with the text and happy with how it looks, I click done on the right-hand side. And my text is there. Same thing as the zoom and blur. If I want to lengthen the amount of time it's on the screen or shorten the amount of time, I just grab it and drag it. I want to show y'all a little hack that I love to share about our text features. I'm not a big fan of our zoom feature because it makes me dizzy. So when I want to highlight important information on the screen, I use an empty text box to do it with a border. So to do that, I'm just going to click text again and add new text box on the right. It's going to copy all of the settings I had in the previous text box. Yes, you can do the editing feature. With the premium videos, no, just the videos you record. So what I'm going to do for this to make it a highlighting tool is I'm going to change the background to transparent, but I'm going to leave the border neon pink. And I'm going to highlight this button down here so that my students know where to click on the screen. Click done, and it highlights just that area. That's a great way to draw attention to an area on the screen without having to use Zoom. If you're afraid it's going to make them dizzy, or you're not a fan of it, or you just want to highlight something for them to do, using a blank text box with a border is the way to go. Next is our add media features. You can add a title screen anywhere in the video. You can also add videos from your Google Drive or from your computer. They have to be MP4s. You cannot add a still image. You can't add a GIF. You can't add just an MP3. It has to be an MP4. So if you have like a still image that you want to put at the end of your video, just record it on your screen for a few seconds and drop it in at the end. I'm going to show you some the title feature first, because this is how I usually differentiated my videos when I was in the classroom. So I'm going to go back to the front of my video, and I'm going to add a title to the front that says step 1, because I want my first group just to do this part of the video. So I've got a title right there. Then maybe right here where I cut it earlier, that's my segment, and my group 2 will do step 1 and step 2, or it's just step 2 depending on the video. So I'll add another title screen here. If I need to move my title, say I added it here but I really want it over here, all I have to do is click on it and drag it to where I want it. So I can move it around. It doesn't have to stay where it started. I can move it to different parts of my video if I need to. So that is the title feature. Now, if you want to add another video to the end of your video at any point, you can add it to the beginning, you can add it in the middle of your video, or you can add it in the end. You could add it if it's a Screencastify video that you already have recorded. You would go to Google Drive. Once you record your first video in Screencastify, Google Drive builds you a Screencastify folder automatically. You'll open your Screencastify folder from Google and then pick the video that you want to add. So we'll pick this one. So just click on it and click select. It'll process your video and drop it at the end of your current video. Yes, all your past videos you made are in a folder in your Google Drive labeled Screencastify. Now we have our video here. If you want to move it to a different part of the video streamline, you just have to click and grab and move. Like I make YouTube videos, so I have a cheesy intro that I put at the beginning of all my videos. So when I'm finishing editing my video, I add it and then move it to the front. So to do that, you just click it and drag it to wherever you want to move it, and it'll stay there. Our last feature in our editor is export. For export, you have 2 options. You can export it as an MP4. However, if you do that, it makes it a static video file. You cannot add quiz questions to it. You cannot add standards to it. You cannot add any of our AI features to it. It just makes it an MP4 file. So we don't want to do that unless we're just uploading it straight to YouTube or something. So you want to export to Screencastify to be able to use all of our additional features. You'll give your video a title and save it. It'll process it, create a watch link, and drop it back into your My Videos landing page. All right, it's done. So now we can go back to our My Videos landing page by clicking on the hamburger on the left-hand side and going to My Videos. The video that you just edited will be the first video on your screen. So let's open that up and we'll add some additional features to it. All of your additional features are on the right-hand side. Let's look at adding questions to make it a quiz first. To add questions, you'll just click the Add Quiz button. It'll take you to our quiz builder. There are 3 things you can add as a quiz in the quiz builder. You can add a multiple choice question that will auto grade for you in the quiz. You can add a short answer question that you have to grade yourself, or you can add just a note to your students in the quiz, and that's not graded. So I'm just gonna drag this a couple seconds, and maybe we'll just pretend this is a math video, and I want to just ask them a question about what we did in class yesterday. So maybe I'll say, what is 2 times 5? Screencastify always defaults the correct answer to the first choice, but I know y'all are going to want to mix that up. So to change the answer choice, just uncheck the box and check the box you want it to be. If you want more than 2 answers, you can click the plus sign that says add answer, and you can add more answers. If you have more than 2 answers, it can also be a multi-select question where you can have more than 2 answer choices selected for students. So let's add some answers. And I'll leave that with my correct answer on the bottom where it's checked. Underneath that, you can change the question weight if you want to, or you can leave it at 1 point. Just depends on what you want. And then when you're happy with your question, click the blue save question box and it'll save your question. So I've added all the questions I want to add. The next thing is very important because we don't want our students being able to fast forward the video or skip the questions, right? You need to go to the settings button next to where the add question button is and open up the settings. We have 2 settings that you can assign for quizzes. Prevent skipping, which is what you want to have on. So you want to toggle it to blue by clicking on it. This will stop viewers from being able to skip ahead on the video and it'll make them answer the questions. It won't go forward until they answer the question. You can also add a due date to the video. If you add a due date, it will not prevent them from completing it after the due date. It'll just highlight that it was late. So they can still complete it. It'll just tell you in your gradebook on the analytics page that they did it late. They turned it in late. So that's great. If you have some kids that just take a little time to get things done, it's not going to prevent them from doing it. It'll let them do it still. It'll just tell you that it was late. So if you turn on due date, you can assign a due date and a time and have it highlight the past due responses. So I've saved prevent skipping and I want to show you guys what that looks like. So I'm going to preview my quiz video. This is what students will see when they open the video. They can start the video and I have comments on so they can add a comment here and the comment will include the video timestamp. So if they get confused and need to say, hey, I don't understand at this point, they can leave you a comment and I'll show you how to change the comment settings in a second. I taught middle school and some days those babies are a wild card and you don't know what they're going to write in the comment box. So sometimes I would turn it off. Sometimes I would have the comments as private. Sometimes I left them as public, depending on what we were doing. They can't respond to each other. They can just see the comments. So you don't have to worry about them going back and forth. You just see the comments and the timestamp. When they're ready to take the quiz, they click start the video. And it's going to play until it gets to our first question. And you see it stopped. I can click play. It doesn't let you when I mess with it. I can try to go past the question, but it won't let me go past it. Even if I click play again, it keeps me there until I answer the question. So I'm going to answer my question. And it auto-graded it for me, told me it was correct. And I can keep going in the quiz, in the video if I need to. And it shows me my total score as well. Let's talk about our analytics features because you want to see how your kiddos do on the quiz, right? Oh, first we're going to finish and share our quiz. Once you're done adding questions and you've set the settings, you'll click the green finish and share button. That'll take you back to your video landing page where you have the video playing. The next thing you need to do before you share it or change the share setting. But the good thing about that is you can set it as a default if you want to use the same settings for every video. You only have to set them once. So click share settings under preview. And here's where you can change the comment privacy. You can have it as public where everyone can post and see. Private where only you and the comment creator can see it. Or disable comments altogether and nobody can post or see comments. That's up to you. That is 100% your choice. I would say though that I would toggle off the email notification because if you have it on, if it's blue and it's on, every time somebody comments on your video, you will get a separate email from Screencastify. If you have 100 students and they're all doing the video and they all comment on it, you'll get 100 emails. So I would turn that off. Next is video privacy. If you select only me, that means that nobody else can watch it. So that's not helpful. If you select anyone with the link, that means anyone who has access to the link that you share can watch the video. You can also set it to anyone in your domain, but you have to add your district's email domain tag at the end so that it knows who's watching the video and the kids will have to enter their email address to have access to the video. So I generally keep it with anyone with the link. Then the thing I mess up the most, even as an employee of Screencastify, is the analytics tracking. It defaults to anonymously. That is not helpful to you. If you have 25 students do this quiz and it says anonymously, there will be 25 anonymous names on your analytics. So you don't know who did what and how they did. So we need to change that. You can change it to have it record by email address. If your kids know their email address and they want to enter the whole thing, great. I generally don't do it that way. I choose by name. And then they just have to type in their name at the beginning of the video and you'll see that in your analytics page. So once you're happy with your settings, you can check the box down here in the left corner and save these settings for every video you create as a quiz, which is very helpful. So now that you have your settings saved, it's time to share the video with your class. You can share it a couple different ways. You can just share the copy link if you want to just send a link out or post a link somewhere. You can share it directly to Google Classroom, to a class, and to specific students if you want. And we even have a QR code generator built in. So you can generate a QR code right in our system to share the quiz, which is pretty cool. You don't have to go to a third-party site and do it. It does it right here for you with one click. And let's look at our quiz analytics. We have some great analytics features for our quizzes that I think you guys are really going to like. Here, I had my comments turned on to public so you can see what they look like. I had the timestamp included. So I can see here that Sean and Rupal both got confused around the same time in the video. So maybe I pair them up tomorrow in a small group and I can remediate that part of the process of multiplying or comparing fractions with the butterfly method. I know that they both need that help, that extra support. I can do it with them because I see it right here in front of me. Let's look at the responses. This is where I messed up, just to show you guys that it says anonymous for all 4 responses. So it's not helpful to have it on anonymously. Turn it on by name. There are 3 ways you can view the quiz analytics. This is the all response view where you can see how they answered every question and their total score. The next view is by viewer. So it'll break down the questions and answers by student. So if you're like collecting data for RTI or special ed and you needed to share this as data, you can take a screenshot of their by student page right here and share it with their case manager and show them that they are either doing great with these quizzes or not paying any attention. And our third and my favorite way to view analytics is by question, because it gives us these pretty graphs. So I can look through my graphs and I can see, oh my goodness, question 4, everybody missed it. So clearly I need to start class tomorrow remediating that part of the comparing fractions process because everybody got it wrong. I can see in question 3, I had 50-50. So maybe I pair those kids up together and let the 2 that got it right move on to some extension activities and remediate with the 2 that got it wrong. So there's my 2 groups for tomorrow. So super helpful for you to assign small groups and figure out where you want to go with your teaching after they watch the video and take the quiz. Next, I want to share with you some easy ways to organize your videos, because if you're like me and you make a lot of Screencastify videos, it can get kind of hard to find the right ones in your landing page. So we have a couple ways you can organize your videos. One way, you can tag standards to your videos. So this would be helpful if you tag standards to your videos and you create like an end of year study sheet for your statewide assessment. You'd be able to find the videos by standard and have them maybe you create a QR code with that video and put the QR code on your study guide next to the content questions that go with that video to help the students remember how to do the problem. I used to do that with my students when we would practice for statewide assessment. I would put the video as a QR code next to that lesson that used that video content so that they at home could review the video, remember what to do, and then solve the problems. The other way you can organize your videos is a new way, brand new. It just went live like maybe 3 weeks ago, is by folders. Up at the top, you can create a new folder, and then you can bulk add to your folder by selecting the video checkbox in the top left corner. So I'm going to select these 5, and then I'm going to click move to, and I'm going to move them to the folder I want to move them to. You can also bulk delete in the same way. So if you record or you're recording a video and you have like 5 outtakes that save in your drive, you can check all 5 of those and click delete once and they all go away. That helps you keep your landing page nice and organized and clean and not super cluttered. So that's organizing your videos. Now we're going to talk about AI Enhance and world language features. These are going to blow your mind, guys. I promise. Let me open a video that we can add some features to with AI. So I've opened just a read aloud video that I made with a book that I found on Epic and opened it up and then recorded myself reading it aloud. Now I'm going to add some AI features to it. So to do that, I'm going to click Enhance. Under Enhance, I'm going to click AI Assistant. Might not be long enough. This video might not be long enough. The video has to be longer than a minute or more than 20 words for the AI assistant to work. So let me find a different one. Enhance with AI will generate captions, enable transcripts. It'll also generate a title and a very robust description for your video. So all you need to do to get all of that to happen is click the purple Enhance Video button. Word on the street is that it's going to eventually include create questions. So that's coming soon. It does take a second to generate the captions. The cool thing is you can bail from this page, go do something else, go make copies, go to the bathroom, get another cup of coffee. It'll send you an email when it's done creating your captions. way beyond anything I've ever seen AI create as far as like a video goes. So it gave me a title that's pretty accurate. And then look at this description, y'all. AI made that whole description for me. Of course, I want to read through it, the 80-20 rule. You want to make sure that everything's accurate in the description, but that's pretty robust for an AI description. Now, let's make some magic happen. You're going to go to preview to add the really cool stuff. When I taught fifth grade, I had mostly Hispanic students, and I had a really hard time connecting with their families because their parents didn't speak English, and I don't speak Spanish. And the kids usually didn't speak enough Spanish to really help at that point. So this would have been amazing to have back then, but I'm so glad that you guys have it now. First, we're going to add some captions in a different language. To do that, you're going to click the closed captions button, and you'll click on languages. We currently have over 50 languages that we support with captions and AI voiceover. The company that we work with, the goal is to get us to eventually to 96 languages. So I'm going to choose a language that I want my captions to be in. It's going to translate the captions. It takes a minute. So I'm going to find a video that I already have everything translated in so you can see how great it is. I've already gone through and translated captions and the voiceover on this video just to save time in the training. So I'm going to set the closed captions to French. And it automatically, because I've already downloaded them, you see it's in French now. But the really cool thing is, if I click the little person with the sound bars next to it, I can add an AI voiceover in that same language. So you click on it to turn it on. You can pre-download the languages. So if you have parents that speak 5 different languages in your class, anytime you send anything home, before you send it home to the parents, you can go in and pre-download the voiceover so the parents don't have to do it. They just have to open it up and click on the language they need. So I have like 5 downloaded already, but I want to use French for this one so it matches my captions. I am going to speed it up a little bit because it sounds a little like it's drowning if it's going at the speed it starts with. So I'm going to move it up to 1.5 times and let you hear what it sounds like.
Le triste, triste monstre par Dolores Costello. Cette histoire parle d'un monstre.
To download a language, all you need to do is go into your languages and find the language you want to download and click on it. So if you have a student that speaks Hindi, you'll find Hindi, select it, it'll generate the voiceover. You don't have to stay on the screen. Screencastify will email you when your voiceover is ready. So you can go do whatever you need to do. And once your voiceover is, you can do multiple languages. Right now I have 5. We're about to have 6. It's processing this, so it won't show me that. But you can add as many voiceover languages as you want. You just have to download. It's a great way to share classroom newsletters, connect with your parents over, if they can't come for parent night to open house or whatever the case is, you can send home your open house PowerPoint with all the languages set up. So so you can download as many languages as you need. Right now I have 6 ready to go. So all you have to do to download another one is select it from our list and it'll download. You have to do it on your main videos. It won't do it on premium videos. So here's a list of the languages we currently support. And like I said, we're eventually going to get to 96. Now let's talk about one of my favorite tools. And it's really helpful right now because as we know, Flip or Flipgrid, depending on when you started using it, has been sunset into Microsoft Teams. But Screencastify's got your back. We have a student-facing tool as well called Submit. So let's talk about Student Submit. From either anywhere on your Screencastify page or even your extension. Cody, yes, when you add captions, the pre-downloaded ones are able to be selected like the voiceover. To get to our Submit feature from anywhere, either the extension or anywhere in your Screencastify page, you'll click the paper airplane that says Submit, and it'll take us to our Submit homepage. With Submit, you have 2 options. You can create your own assignment, or Castify has done y'all a solid and made some really great templates for you to start with. So let's look at some of the templates that we have. And I'm going to show you my favorite one, and we'll start there. But they do have a back-to-school reflection if you're just getting started and you want to use that one to practice with. That's a great one to use. They have one, I love this one, talent show tryouts, so you don't have to stay after school. You have the kids record them at home and submit them to you, and you just watch the video and tell them if they're in or not. We have a music practice template, so they can practice their scales or their song or whatever they need to practice at home and send it to you and submit. But my favorite one is our fluency practice, because I taught special ed for 15 years, and I had fluency goals for all of my students. And if you've ever had fluency goals or seen how you have to do fluency read alouds, it takes a lot of time if you have more than 1 student. So I had 15 students and it would take me like 2 days to get through all of them. Submit has an answer for that. We have a fluency template where you enter the title. They have it up here, fluency practice. And then in the instructions box, you just put the text you want the kids to read for their fluency practice. It has like a dummy text in here now, but you can replace it with your own. Then you can choose how you want it to record. You have 3 choices for student recordings. You can record screen and webcam. So that would be like if they were presenting a project to you, like maybe they did a jigsaw activity and they were presenting their piece of the puzzle. I would have them show me their presentation and record their webcam. If you have them doing something like fluency or a reflection or music, I would just have webcam only on. Or if you're just starting out and they're kind of shy and they don't want to put their face on the camera, they can just record their screen. So you choose which way you want it to record. Then in your settings, you can either generate a link to share or share it directly to your Google Classroom class. And it'll open up right here to share, and you can select the students you want to share it with, the class you want to share it with, and even the topic you want to share it under. Once again, we have our link privacy. I suggest leaving it anyone with the link. Then we have video privacy. There are 3 options for video privacy. Students cannot view any videos, not even their own. Students can view their own videos, or students can view all videos. So if you had them doing like a jigsaw project or sharing presentations, you probably want them to be able to view all the videos so they can see each other's. But for this one, I don't want anybody to see these videos because it's fluency practice and that's pretty private. So I'm going to leave it to students cannot view any videos. Then you can change the point amount or have it ungraded. And once again, those email notifications, if you want to get an email every time somebody turns in a submit project, have it blue. If you don't want that email, turn it gray. Then you're ready to go. Click create and share, and I'm going to show you what this looks like on the student side. There is no time limit on student submit videos, so they can take as long as they need to. Like absolutely no time limit. We also focus on content at Screencastify, so there are no backgrounds or stickers or distracting features that will take away from them recording their content. This is what the students will see when they go to the submit page. They'll click start recording. It'll count down. It shows them the instructions and the details of the directions to the left of their video. So that's great because if they're doing fluency practice, they don't have to have a sheet in front of them or another screen open with the passage. It's right next to their camera for them to easily read as they record. Once they're done, they just click stop recording. There are no editing features for students, so they can start over if they need to re-record, or they can click the green button to submit. They can download their own videos, but nobody else's. Once they've submitted their video, it will show up under that assignment on your submit page. So it says fluency practice. To see the videos, you just click on it. It shows you their name, their score, and when it was submitted. To grade their video, you just click on their name. Their video comes up, and you can watch it and give them a score. I'll give myself 100. Once you've watched the video and given it a score, just click the green done button, and it'll take you to the next video if you have more videos. Or if you don't, you can return to the assignment. It does have Google Classroom grade passback, so the grades will pass back to your Google Classroom gradebook. If you want to create your own submit from scratch, you'll click on the new assignment button, and then all you have to do is give it the title and some instructions, and then do the rest of the features we talked about. So one of the things I always did the first day of school was I had my students record the pronunciation of their name so I could learn how to pronounce it correctly. And then I also would have them give me one boring fact about themselves because they would come up with the funniest things to share. So I'm going to set that assignment up so you can see how it looks. I always called it say my name, say my name. Any Destiny's Child fans in the audience. And then I would say, tell me your name and one boring fact about yourself. Because they're just talking to me, I'm going to put it on webcam recording only. I can either generate the link or share it directly to my Google Classroom for them. I'll share it to Google Classroom so you can see what it looks like. So when I open up the Google Classroom share, I can choose my class. Like I said, I don't have any students in my class, but if I did, I could choose specific students to send it to, and I can even choose the topic to put it under. I can put my points right here and my due date, or schedule it to assign at a later date. So this one, when you preview this one, it takes you into Google Classroom so you can see what the students will see. This is what the students will see in their Google Classroom. And in order to record the video, all they have to do is click the Screencastify assignment underneath there, and it'll take them right into the submit feature. And then they follow the same steps as they did before. I love our submit feature. I think it's great for y'all to have for students to work on their public speaking skills and sharing their videos. It's just a great tool. We talked about Google Classroom, but let's talk about how we can use Screencastify to help with some of your day-to-day challenges and your home to school connections. You can use Screencastify to shorten that assessment process by turning any video into a quiz, or students can create submit assignments to quickly assess You can quickly assess them with the submit assignments. If you're struggling to support differentiated learning, you can shorten your lesson into chunks like we talked about with the title feature in the editor, and you can add captions to any video to increase accessibility for all students. To empower student creation, you can engage students by creating their own videos and submit, and you can let them review each other's videos and share feedback. You can also support language acquisition in your classroom. You can record your lesson in English for English language learners to watch later with captions or voiceover in their native language. Or if you're a world language teacher, you can record yourself giving directions in the language you teach and turn on captions in that language to promote vocabulary acquisition in the language they're learning. To strengthen that home to school bond, you can connect more one-to-one with students through giving them feedback via video and using Submit to hear from every student. If you have a student that's chronically absent, you can record a lesson and share it in Google Classroom for them to watch. If you have parents that don't read your newsletters, my parents never read my newsletters, go paperless. Record your newsletters via video, and that can be translated into multiple languages and send it home with a QR code. If you have difficulty communicating with your English language learners' families, once again, you can translate your videos into over 50 languages with captions and AI voiceover. And then if you want to personally praise your students, use the QR code generator to create a QR code to share in any way. I used to use it to make my certificates at the end of the year personalized. I would record a video for each student, telling them, sharing like maybe my favorite memory of them and some personal growth that I saw over the year, and attach it to their certificates. And I have one student that's in high school now that I had in 5th grade that tells me she watches the video like every week still. So it made an impact on her. You can also attach a quick review video to a worksheet using a QR code for students to complete at home with support from you. Then, if you need resources from us, we have some phenomenal resources online. And if you need me for any more questions, you can get in touch with me at Renee@Screencastify.com.